to NEK-TV Rocks, and my guests today are two swimmers. One is
Elaine Howley.
and
Edna, Llorens.
say your last name again.
Llorens.
Thank you.
It's a double L.
I know, I saw it. but because I have a European background, double L is in
yeah,
Welsh.
that's the Welsh.
language.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
How will you pronounce it?
your name?
Yeah.
Well, in your name, if I saw it written, would be Yandro, with a k to it.
Okay.
So there's a town called Llewellyn. So it's k as a yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Welsh,
I
Welsh
love,
is fun. We'll do a proper Welsh lesson
yeah,
later.
the language is fun.
Pop
I'm
de
not
ping.
Welsh.
I was studying Welsh for a little while there.
Oh well, then you know.
Yeah, and so a microwave, it's technically called a microdon, but they call it a pop de ping because it goes pop de ping.
So we're not here to talk about Wales. We're here to talk about the winter swim, and Elaine's a frequent flyer. Elaine is up here a lot. Why? What brings you here?
I like the people. I like the community. I think is primarily what keeps me coming back. And over the years, Phil and you, like the Sharkbait Sheilas and Charlotte and, the whole crew up here that's really involved in the swimming community have really built that up and made it into a community that's got really long reach. I mean, reached all the way down to Mexico and dragged her up. So I think it's mostly just because, it's this weekend every year is kind of the highlight of my year, is just come up here, see my friends, play in the cold, drink cheap beer. What's not to love?
Right. And you've been coming, God, at least 15 years, maybe more.
I think my first time in the kingdom was probably 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made it up for the second kingdom swim because I was actually over in England swimming the English Channel when the first kingdom swim happened.
Right.
So I missed that one, but I came for the second one, and I think I've been to every single kingdom
have.
swim since.
Yeah.
And I've been to every single one of the ice festivals except for 1 year I missed. Otherwise, I'd be a lifer. It'd be me and Rick Bourne. But
Yeah, that's right.
but I did this 1 year, yeah.
And you're a first timer for this.
This is my first time, and I'm so excited to be here.
We're so excited too.
Have you swum in snow and ice before?
No, never. And I don't think I can do that.
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
I think I'll try.
Yeah. But you are a marathon swimmer.
Yes, I can swim. It's,
Yeah. Oh, no, we know you can swim.
No, but I am, anything that I would like to swim, I'm in there. So, yes.
Yeah. And you're a coach. What else do you do with swimming?
I do a big event, fundraising event for kids with cancer, and it's called Por Ellas, and we have 35K solo swimmer, and we have 35K relay, 8 swimmers, and they swim 2 by 2, and this is because you're taking out people from the pool to the ocean.
Right.
So by a couple, they feel more comfortable, and after that, they are starting to go by themselves in the ocean. So they do a relay, and they keep on changing till they get the 35K, and then I have 5K and 3K
Yeah,
for the
35K
beginners.
is a long way.
Yes, 35K is a long way.
Yeah.
And they have 12 hours to finish.
Wow.
So, yeah, they gotta be a little bit fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's quick.
That's a long swim.
Yes, it's a
Pretty
nice
impressive.
swim.
I mean, it's nice water. It's warm. but
It's
it can be
warm,
rough.
it's 27
Yeah.
degrees, and everybody enjoys it. And I ask people from north to come, and they go I'm not gonna swim in a jacuzzi. I go but that jacuzzi is full of really life, sea life. It's a very nice bay in La Paz. And it's super enjoyable. So yeah, it's to have fun as well. It's not a competition as it is as swimmers, but we do give prizes to the winners.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is that people raise money to help kids with cancer in that state, and they compete for the big prize with how much money they raise. And it has become a really good thing because we are like putting a little bit of conscience on the people to help others doing what you love the most, swimming.
How many years have you been doing this?
15.
Wow.
15 already, yes.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
It started small and grew.
Yes, it starts small and look like we start like with 7 relays teams. And in the 2020, we were able to do the event, and I had 7 teams, plus other swimmers, but the same amount. While in 2019, we have like 43 teams. Wow. So, no, I went back to when I started and to that amount of swimmers, and then now it's growing again, and it's a lot of swimmers, a lot of boats out there, a lot of kayakers out there.
So you have kayakers with the swimmers too?
Yeah, it's the boat, the swimmers, and the kayaker. So that's for the 35K.
Wow.
Solo, last year we did tandem, so we had 2 tandems. So the 2 swimmers swims all the way with the kayaker. And of course we have kayakers taking care of the 5K and the 3K, yes.
Yeah. How many North Americans, have you managed to persuade to go?
Oh, well, Liz Frey has been down there, and I was really, really happy because from New York to all the way to La Paz is a long ways. And I had some people from the UK. I have a friend that's Mexican married to a UK, an English guy from England, and they live there and they come to Mexico. So he brought some friends and they do their team. So that was nice, and that's it. And then I had Elaine swimming 20K down there. And it was amazing to see her swimming all that, just enjoying the nice ocean and the color and the mountains at an island. So that was nice.
So when did you do the 20K?
I was down in November.
You get around.
I do, yeah. It was a few weeks after I got back from Mongolia, where I'd been ice swimming, and then I had an assignment. I was covering a swim track trip in La Paz. As it worked out, we actually camped on the island of Espiritu Santo, which is just off the coast of La Paz. So we were on the island for a week, and I was assigned to write an article about it. So it's like tough gig if you can get it.
You can combine your day job with your sport.
Yeah, exactly. So it was all of my expenses were covered, and I got paid to write the article. But then I was like, well, wait a minute. I know Edna and Anna, and they're in La Paz, and so I reached out and said, do you have anything interesting I could try as a swim? Do you got some solo things? Can you hook me up with a boat? And they hooked me up. It was great. We had a wonderful day. It was windy, so we had to alter the original plan a little bit, but I think it actually, the way it altered, it ended up being an even better experience, because we went all down the west side of Espiritu Santo and kind of went in all of the fingers of land, and so I was in relatively shallow water most of the time, and so I could see all kinds of fish, and I saw a turtle.
And warm water.
Warm, so I was nice and slow. I had to take it easy. I was going to get too hot.
You did great.
It was fun. I had a good time, and Anna got in and swam with me for a good portion of it, and Edna was doing her best Esther Williams on the boat.
She was making jokes, and I was like, okay, making jokes with her.
When you really want to say, just be quiet and swim.
Well, the pilot was like, one more bad joke, and I'm not letting you back in the boat.
Yeah, she's quite entertaining in the water.
Oh, yes, no, she can be fun. even swimming, not just with the faces she does. Like, I not keep on swimming. Like, yes.
Yeah. So do you have a, quote, day job as well? Elaine obviously has her career as a writer and as an artist. And
Well, I have this little team coaching for open water swimming.
Nice.
I have never, well, some people tells me, well, you gotta make a decision. You're a swimmer or you're a coach. And I said, don't go there. Don't go there, because first, I'm a swimmer.
Yeah.
So if you don't like it, you look for another coach. The thing is that in that La Paz, there's no like coach for masters. No? So people start like asking me, and I go, well, yeah, I can teach you what I know. Then it started to grow, so then I had to go into a class to see how I could be a better coach, coaching people, right? And to take care of them, because
Sure.
I'm a little bit crazy. No, I go a little bit forward, so I had to slow down and put them. I'm really good as giving the how do you say, like style.
Oh, technique.
Yeah, technique.
Yeah.
No, I'm really good at that. So the first thing I do is to correct the style,
Right.
the technique, and they start feeling like they like to swim. Because somebody that is fighting the water, it's like,
It's no
no,
fun.
forget it yet.
Right.
So, yeah, that's a little, so I do that in the mornings. I swim, then I coach, and then I go to the office. I have this association, which is the one that raises money to help kids with cancer. And, of course, I do paint. I'm not an artist like she is, but I do little things that I like to do that. It helps my soul to, it's really comfort, like recomforts my soul. So, yeah, I do lots.
Yeah. And what's amazing as I got to know more and more people in the swim community is how talented people are across the board. And I think part of that is discipline, because if you're going to swim in the intense way that many swimmers do, certainly for competing, then you've got to know how to be focused and directed, which I guess frees up other time to do other things, or allows you to explore that part of yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
When I was in college, I swam on the team in college, and I found that the season would go from the day we got on campus in the fall to beginning of March, and then I'd have those 2 months or so after swim season. And it's funny how I never had a problem getting homework done and papers written during swim season.
Yeah.
It was just when we didn't have that, the daily 2 or 3 hour workout every afternoon to sort of anchor the day, that suddenly it was like, oh, I've got plenty of time, I'll do it later, and then it didn't get done.
Right.
So, I definitely learned then that, okay, swimming's good for me because it keeps me on track and it keeps me focused, and it takes a lot of time, but it also helps me restructure time and anchor my day so that I can actually be productive. Besides the fact that it clears all the junk out of your head.
Exactly. You
It
clean
does.
everything. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. I mean, swimming's very meditative in some ways. You're spending a lot of time on your own, even if there's other people around in the pool or in the open water or wherever it is. You're in your own head.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, people ask me all the time, well, what do you think about? I'm like, well, what don't I think about when I'm swimming?
Everything.
Yeah, everything. Everything
You
from...
resolve,
Yeah.
you pray.
Yeah,
You do a
everything.
lot of it, yeah.
Everything,
You get to know yourself a lot.
Yeah, I think that's true.
That's a meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you know, well, you haven't experienced it yet, but as you know, we don't have a pool here. So we're really stuck with, and I don't mean stuck in a bad way, because I love our lakes. We have so many of them. It's wonderful to be able to swim in them mostly year round, but we do have a block of time when we can't. And that makes it hard for kids here to really have the opportunity to learn to swim, to learn to swim well, and to enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a travesty that there's not a pool up here
Yes.
locally. I mean, I guess is the swimming hole in Stowe, is that the nearest pool?
Lyndonville's the nearest.
Lyndonville,
but
okay.
that's
Even so, that's a long way to
That's a long
go.
way. And their hours are not very good because it's a college and they
Right.
need the pool.
Right, right. You know, and I think, oh gosh, I can't think of anything better to go in the pit downtown than a pool.
Right.
I mean, that would be a wonderful place to build a pool. I mean, heck, if they put a pool there, I might actually consider moving to Newport permanently.
Is that the good news?
Or the bad news, right? Right. Is that a threat or a promise?
Right. I wish we had a pool.
Yeah, I do
Really,
too.
really
What we
do.
need to have a pool here.
We do. Why?
We raise money and we put a pool here.
Yeah,
You know, raising
yeah.
money for a year, like, to teach kids and especially babies. I
Yes.
think it's not like, it's a security thing for everybody
Right.
to know how to swim.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a life skill.
We had to learn to swim. It
Yeah.
wasn't
Yes.
even a choice.
Yes.
And I think that's something that America as a whole really gets wrong. That swimming is not part of the national curriculum. Like it should be a
Right.
core subject, because it really is the only sport that can save your life. And whether you become a competitive swimmer or
Right.
not, having basic water safety skills is critical. I mean,
I
just
agree.
the fact that we don't do that just as a matter of course. Just I don't understand that.
Right.
That's my soapbox.
No, I share that soapbox regularly.
And you know what? Me as a foreigner, or the idea we have in Mexico is that the United States builds the most incredible swimmers, So I hear this and I go like, where is that? How that works? And I think that that they, I don't know, like if the college or something pushed them so hard to become great swimmers around the world,
Yeah.
right? So now listening to this is like, okay, I go back to Mexico, which is not something they really support, And I think these days we're having good swimmers out there. Like at least 4 swimmers are going to the big competitions around the world. Like in a long time, we didn't have these swimmers out there.
Right.
So
Right.
how this works, I don't know. But I think that every kid in primary school might be able to swim the 4 styles, because it also gives you discipline,
Yep.
for life.
Right.
For life,
Exactly.
Which I really started swimming at 28 years old and saved
You
my
were late.
life.
Right.
Yeah, and it's never late, right?
Right.
Swimming is health any age.
Right.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's, I think that it's very important to take a look to kids and kids, that they should be
agree.
swimming. Then if they want to go play football or basketball or whatever, they already have the skills to do any other sport.
Right.
Exactly.
And if they fall into water anywhere, they're not going to panic. They can save their own lives.
Yes. I think the worst to do is to get panic in the ocean, in
Of
the
course.
lake. So yeah, you also got to train your mind.
Right.
Right.
I mean, off our coast and your coast, there are many areas that have rip tides. Well, a rip tide's only short, but if you don't know to go with it as opposed to fighting against it,
Yes.
that's how people drown.
It just goes down.
Yeah.
Exactly. You cannot fight the water.
No.
No, the water's always going to win.
Yeah.
So you relax and go with the current.
Go with
and when
it.
you feel stable, then you swim.
Yeah.
Swim out of it.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, we had to do a lot of, when I was lifeguarding on the New Jersey shore,
Yeah.
we had to do a lot of education around rip currents, because you can
Right.
see them. Like, if you know what you're looking for, you can see
Right.
them from the shore. And so we would always, in the morning when we come down and set up the beach, it was like, all right, well, there's a little rip forming over there that's going to get worse as the tide moves. And, all right, so we're going to set up down here. And then you just have to keep whistling people over so they don't get into it, and they get all annoyed, like, why does that person keep whistling at me? Why
are
won't they let
shouting
me?
at me? Right.
And it's like, no, see, because I can see something that you're not seeing.
Right.
See, also you gotta teach them how to break the current.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like sailboats, going that way, break it.
Yeah, but the first time you get caught in something like that,
Yeah,
you have no idea.
No,
And
you
it doesn't matter what
start
the
getting
words are that
panic.
somebody's used.
It's
yeah.
panic-inducing completely.
Have you ever feel panic?
Yeah, at the start of my Catalina swim, I was definitely in full panic mode. Because it's midnight, you're on this perfectly good boat out in the middle of the Pacific. It's dark as can be. The boat is doing this, and I'm sitting on the swim step getting ready to jump in because, of course, the boat can only get so close to shore, and then you've got to, swim that 50 meters into the beach
Right,
to start the
and
swim
then come
officially,
back.
and then
Oh
come
my
back.
God.
And I'm, on the boat thinking about getting in, and I see a bunch of flying fish go by. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I saw the sea lions in hot pursuit. So my brain fills in what's chasing the sea lions.
Right.
I was like, oh God, I don't know if I can do this. I really don't know if this is a good idea. And I sat for a long minute on that step, and my crew member, one of my best friends, Lisa, she comes over and she's like, if you're not going to get in, let's go home because it's midnight and I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I was like, no, I'll do it. So I jumped in, and swimming that 50 meters to get to the beach, I had to go through some kelp. So then I'm thinking, what am I waking up? What is sleeping in the kelp that is going to bite me? And I was in a full-on panic. Head up, I was screaming. And then I got to the island, and I realized, oh no, I've got to turn around, swim right back through all that. But at this point, now I'm stranded on an island, I have to go swim. So
No choice.
So I got started, and about 10 minutes off the island, suddenly I started to see all the bioluminescence, like the putting your hand in, and you get, it's like Star Wars warp speed stars off your hand. And it just totally mesmerized me, and it chilled me out. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be all right. I can do this.
Yeah, I'm part of the universe.
I am part of the universe, and if I end up part of the food chain, so be it. But this is okay, and this is where I'm supposed to be. And once I settled down, the panic disappeared. But I was in full blown panic for a little while there.
I feel panic out there. Yes, of course. So.
And even with I grew up by the ocean, and lifeguarded. I had extensive experience in the ocean. It's just there's something about when it's at night and it's in a high stress situation, can't see anything, and the sense of sight is, we rely on it so much, and then suddenly you're in this environment where I had earplugs in too, so I was a little bit auditory.
Well, you have to, because
that's just this sensory deprivation, and then at the same time you're immersed, and so the sense of touch is just off the charts. So it's just like a weird recalibration of how you interact with
all the time. You're
the environment.
Recalibration.
Yeah. So it was really wild, and even with all of the experience I had in the sea, that was just a whole new level.
Yeah. And you've done some really amazing swims.
I've done a lot of swims. Yeah.
And some of them you've done as I'm the first to do this.
I have done a couple of firsts. Yeah.
Several, including Men from Magog.
Yeah.
You weren't technically the first swimmer because
No.
one did it many years before you. But this time around.
Yeah. And it was sort of kind of a kismet thing. And it's always fun to hear Phil tell this story. He was telling the story at the bar last night. He was telling you the story about how the search got started. I had attempted a 50-mile swim in Narragansett Bay and had been eaten alive by sea lice. So I got out at 26 miles. I said, I'm done. And I had obviously bitten off more than I could chew. That was early in my open water career, but I was a little down and out because it felt kind of embarrassing to get out halfway,
I was defeated by sea lice.
Yeah, I know. You can't even see them. I was like,
Awful. Yeah.
So I was a little down about it, and I don't know how Phil knew, but he reached out and he said, "Hey, how about getting back on the horse? We've got this big lake here. Nobody's done it since the 50s.
Right.
Do you want to come swim from Newport to Magog?" And I was like, okay, we know I can do 25 miles, so sure. And so he tells it that I asked if I could bring a friend. I don't remember that being the case. It might have been, but the next thing we know, there's 10 people signed up. You know, what I thought was going to be a solo swim turns into this group event, and it was a goat rodeo.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It was windy. We had this 20-mile-an-hour headwind, and we were launching at midnight, and we were trying to swim in pods because we had limited number of kayaks and support boats, and so we were trying to group up and stay together, which is a wonderful idea, and it never, ever works. I have never seen it actually work that way.
I've never seen that work.
No, it does not work.
Great idea.
Lovely idea. Totally impossible. It's like communism. Great idea, doesn't work in practice.
You gotta practice that to be able to stick together. Yes.
Yeah, so it got windy, and you know, it was dark and it was chilly because this was September, so the water was in the low 60s and the air was in the 40s. You know, it was cold. So this, all of a sudden, this fun jaunt that I was supposed to be taking wasn't so jaunty, that's for sure. You know, and it was really a good experience though, because I was actually in a really good headspace when I started. Even though it was into this headwind, I knew it was going to be a slog. I also know that I thrive in adversity. Like I do well in crappy conditions. So I just kind of put my head down and went. And at one point, I looked up, I guess it was probably about 2 in the morning, and I saw a shooting star. It was the first time in my life I'd ever seen a shooting star. And the stars up here are so amazing. There's so much less light pollution up here than there is down in Boston that, you know, I could actually see like the smear of the Milky Way, and I was like, oh my God, what is this place? This is amazing. And I was just so in tune with the lake and the swim, and you know, the sun comes up in the morning and I find out that, oh, there's only 4 of you still swimming. Everybody else got out. Everybody else has a brain and decided to go home. And it was intense. It took me almost 18 hours for a 25-mile swim, which is, you know, that tells you something about how intense the wind was.
Waves and
yeah. But it was just a fabulous experience, and I got to talk to Barbara Malloy. Called me the next day to congratulate me, and she was like, "Did you have any interaction with the creature?" And I had heard something that I couldn't identify, so you know we wrote that up as a potential encounter, and because I have a thing for lake monsters. I think lake monsters are just really cool. I love them. I think they're fabulous. So. Yeah, it was cool, and I think in a lot of ways, I guess I kind of have to give Phil some credit for helping me keep growing my open water career. Because if I hadn't had that experience when I did, I'm not sure where I would be now. You know. So
you can congratulate Phil for expanding your crazy experiences.
Yes, and he always delivers on that.
He certainly does. You have a couple of quote Triple Crowns.
Yes.
I mean, 1 Triple Crown is usually enough, but you know, how many do you have? 3?
2, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm 1 swim away from a 3rd.
Right.
So, I was, I think, the 32nd person on the list to get the Triple Crown, which is the English Channel, Catalina Channel, and around Manhattan Island.
Right.
So I actually managed to pull that off within a calendar year. I had corporate support. The company I was working for at the time, you know, they paid some of my fees and stuff. So without that, there's no way it would have happened. But got that done early, and then with the Memphremagog swim and Loch Ness and Lake Tahoe. That's the Triple Crown of Lake Monster swims.
Right. Wow.
That's the one I really like. That one's cool. And I was the 3rd person to do that one. I think right now there's only 6 or 7 who've done it. But, you know, we've been sort of trying to promote it a little bit because they're 3 very big swims.
Yes.
Yeah, Memphre, Tahoe, and Loch Ness is far and away the most difficult physical thing I've ever done.
That's where my family live.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I do know that loch. I know it well.
Yeah, it's deep and dark, and there is
And
nothing
it's fast.
in it. Yeah.
You don't know about the strength of that current there.
Yep.
Because lakes don't have currents. Yeah, right. Lakes do.
They often do.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
often do. So,
When that loch is sort of emptying into the Ness, I mean,
yeah,
it's fast.
it's moving. It's moving,
Yeah.
and it's so cold.
Yeah.
And windy, right?
It can be. We got a pretty good day weather-wise, meaning that it was, air temps in the 60s,
Yeah.
and it was breezy, but not
Right.
Memphre windy. And it was like a crosswind. We weren't swimming
Yeah.
into it. But the water was between 51 and 54 degrees,
Whoa.
Right.
which is really cold.
Which
really
is
cold.
pretty standard for that lake.
Yeah, 13 and a half hours of that.
It's standard, yeah. You know, what can I say?
Well, there's
It's not
a
87.
I never go up.
there's a video of me telling a joke on one of my feeds, and it sounds like I'm drunk. I'm definitely slurring, and it's
Right.
not because I've been drinking. It's because I'm so cold.
Right.
My lips don't work right.
Nothing moves in the right way.
Everything's
Wow,
frozen,
that's
so I'm like slurring. But yeah, no, that was a great experience, and Phil was along for the trip on that too. He
Right.
was on Sarah Thomas's boat for that. She swam. Sarah Thomas, Craig Lenning, and I all swam on the same day. We each had separate support, but we started at about the same time, and that was the peer pressure was a big factor for me because I think I
Sure.
might have bailed if I didn't know that they were both still in. I didn't want to
And
be the
they
weak
weren't
link.
quitting.
No, I had no doubts that this was also really interesting. Ahead of the swim, all three of us were really nervous, because this is a big, gnarly swim. We were all
challenge.
yeah. We were staying together in a house, this beautiful farmhouse in the Cairngorms, and we were all like kind of like rattling around, all fragile and
Anxious.
terrified and anxious, and after the swim was over, all three of us were successful, and afterwards, every single one of us said at some point, I had no worries about the two of you. I was worried about myself. I knew the two of you were going to be just fine,
Yeah.
but it was me. I wasn't sure about it. I just thought that was really interesting because I have always looked at Sarah and Craig as
So experienced.
Oh, and they're
so
like
invincible.
invincible. These
Yeah.
people are superhuman, and
Yeah.
I was describing it as I'm on the JV team and they're the varsity team, and they called
Right.
me up to swim with them because they wanted company.
Yeah.
And it was like I thought I was going to be the weak link, but it was really interesting to hear them say, "Oh, we had no doubt you were going to be fine." I'm like, "Wow, okay, all right, cool, compliment received."
Nice.
That's nice. What
Do
a
you have-
challenge.
Do you have the North Channel on your list yet?
So I actually attempted the North Channel in 2013, and I got about halfway across, and I could not take another jellyfish sting.
Right.
I had jellyfish stings over
Everywhere. Everywhere.
every inch.
Yes.
Not a good scene.
No.
Not a good scene. And because the water was so cold, when they fished me out, I was like, okay, I'm not going to get stung anymore. But what I didn't anticipate was that as I warmed up, I would light on fire.
Right.
Yeah, because the cold water had been actually tamping down some of
Yep.
the inflammation. And oh my God, the next 24 hours were agony.
Really cold stuff.
It was awful. So, and I haven't figured out how to get back there yet. I kind of backburnered it just because I'm concerned that if I tangle with jellyfish like that again, that, because there can be an allergic response that
big
develops,
time.
and I'm concerned that,
Yeah.
I might have had enough exposure that it would be an even bigger response. But,
Yeah.
but I'm going up there this summer. I'm crewing Bill's ship. He's attempting.
Oh, great.
So I will be up there. I will get another look at it. I will get a look at it from the boat. So I think, I'm suggestible. It might happen.
Well,
I wish you go for it.
Yeah, we'll
Because
see.
it's
We'll
something
see.
that's missing in your beautiful.
Yeah.
You know,
So then,
like,
if I manage
can
to
be
pull
part
that
of
off,
your crew.
yes, you
Go.
can come. Absolutely. Yeah, I know you won't let me back in the boat.
I
You.
was going to say, I'll come as crew.
Yeah, exactly.
I know the
You can bring a
area.
paddle. She loves to whack me with the paddle.
There you go.
Yeah, so because I have the English channel, if I did the North channel and the Bristol channel, then
There's
I'd have
another
the
Triple
original
Crown.
Triple Crown.
The original Triple Crown. What about the seven?
Oh, the Ocean 7, yeah. That, I've never really been all that enthused about that one. There was a time when I thought maybe I would go for it, but it's just so logistically challenging and it's so expensive to arrange all
yeah.
these swims.
It's
When you
expensive.
swim at that level, it's not a cheap sport.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
No, and I don't have those kinds of commissions yet, so.
Right.
There's a group actually that's swimming in Antarctica right
know.
now that I wanted to go with, and when I saw the price on that trip, I was like, ooh, okay. Not going to happen.
At least 2 of them are regulars up here with
Yeah.
us.
Yes.
Yeah, I have been looking at the photos with envy.
Yeah, I know. I would love to be there, and it's a good crew, and it's like, some of those people are the same ones that I was in Mongolia with, and we
Yeah.
had a ball. You know, it's a good travel companions, and I thought, oh, I would love to do that, but just not in the budget this year.
So switching gears slightly, I sort of introduced you as a writer. So tell people about some of the legitimate ways you support your swimming habits.
Yeah, so I'm a freelance journalist. I do primarily health writing. One of my biggest clients is U.S. News and World Report. I also do some sports writing. I do a monthly feature for Outdoor Swimmer, which is based in the UK. Beautiful magazine. If you like swimming, you should subscribe to this magazine. It's just beautiful. They do such a good job. I also write for U.S. Masters Swimming. They have a magazine and a website for Masters swimmers who are adult swimmers in the United States. It's a membership organization with like 60,000 members. So I do a lot of work for them. I actually was a direct employee for a little while. Started as a freelancer, took a job for a little while, and then left, and I'm still a freelancer, so they'll never get rid of me. I hope. And I also do some history writing as well, some travel writing here and there. Basically, any magazine or website that wants to
Will
publish
support
me,
your
I'm-
swimming habits and your
yeah.
life.
Yeah, I especially like the assignments like the one I had that took me to La Paz, where I get to go swim and
Yeah.
Thank
write
you.
about it. Yeah, exactly. Those sorts of jobs are great.
A couple of years ago, when we were doing training for the winter swim here, one of the local TV stations sent a reporter, and they said to her, "You should get in." Well, she'd never been in cold water before. So in she gets with a GoPro on her head, and what she wants to do is go duck under. She's no clue what she's getting into. Duck under and sort of film those of us swimming. Well, she does, except her GoPro fell off. So she had to do it again. She was so cold.
Oh my God. Didn't the image went like
Yeah, so, the challenges that you guys who are there as journalists go through sometimes.
Yeah, it's not always easy, but it is
No.
interesting. Yeah, no, it's good stuff. I had written an article for the Aer Lingus, their in-flight magazine, about Ned Denizen's Cork Distance Week in Kinsale. That was fun, but I had to go through the torture swim and stuff to be
That's a tough week.
to be able to fully report on what was going on here. Yeah, so
Well, unfortunately, we're out of time. This was fun.
yeah.
it is, no? And get to know much more, like, wow. I'm like, and you too, because, well, you train here in this lake, and you're
Yes,
going to
but
swim,
I'm not
right?
a marathon swimmer.
No.
I'm a dilettante swimmer. I swim for fun. I kayak, I swim for fun. It's
She's a
great.
good kayaker.
I
Good
bet.
for support.
I bet.
So thank you both for coming in.
Thank you.
and
Thank you for having
let's
us.
all have some fun this weekend.
Oh, that's a guarantee. I'll see you at the bar.
Yeah.
We will.
proud of you.
Yeah, Edna!
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, you gotta get in the water, right? Well, hold on, Bill. Yeah, she's gonna take her time. Yep. Okay, Edna, you're on! Yeah, these guys are TV stations. They want them in it. Yeah.
So far, and looking really good with a strong finish. Woohoo, Elaine! And you got a cheering squad up there. How awesome is that? Woo, Elaine! Here she comes. This is it, baby. Let's go.
Touch the dock.
Here we go, and here's the finish.
Oh, my.